You sent a letter to the Taoiseach, we read about that yesterday, requesting Cabinet to hold off taking this decision. They've obviously done that now. I'm sure you welcome that decision. Why do you still have concerns, given the fact that this evening we see so many former masters of Holles Street, I'm sure old colleagues of yours, who say this needs to go ahead, this is good for women and Irish babies?
The problem started when Dr. Mahoney, one of my predecessors as former master, and Nicholas Cairns, the chairman of the board at the time, wrote to Kieran Mulvey saying that they were happy that the Sisters of Charity would own the hospital. That's when all this problem started. If you fast forward to now, the situation is that the successor organisation to the Sisters of Charity, St Vincents Holdings, which is a Vatican-approved private company whose shareholders are committed publicly to upholding the values and vision of the Sisters of Charity, which are undoubtedly Catholic. So we have a situation now where the hospital, the National Maternity Hospital, is going to be owned by the successor organisation to the Sisters of Charity, which is a Vatican-approved private company.
Well, a spokesperson though for that hospital said that the values that you talk about, the values are human dignity, compassion, justice, quality and advocacy. They're not owned by any secular or religious organisation. They're appropriate for any organisation providing healthcare. Those are the values that they're going to be upholding.
I think you have to accept that the Sisters of Charity uphold all of those values, and they've done tremendous work over the years, but their values are undoubtedly Catholic. We're being asked to believe that a Vatican-approved private company whose shareholders are committed to upholding these Catholic values will own the new National Maternity Hospital operating company, and that they will allow, the Vatican has permitted them to allow procedures which are directly contrary to Catholic teaching.
So do you disagree then with many of your former colleagues who say whatever is carried out in Holles Street today will be carried out in the new National Maternity Hospital? Whatever is legal in Ireland will be legal there too. There are guarantees, copper-fastened guarantees of that. You don't accept that still?
The current structure of Holles Street and its governance and so on works extremely well, and all procedures are available and are performed in the National Maternity Hospital. The proposal is that that structure be completely dissolved and incorporated in a new company, NMHDAC, which will be owned by St Vincents. Why, if the hospital is independent, going to be independent, does it have to be owned by a Vatican-approved private company?
Is that not because it's going to be co-located with St Vincent's Hospital at the moment?
If it's co-located, it doesn't have to be owned by St Vincent's. The Children's Hospital is not going to be owned by St James's. There's many, many examples all around the world of proper co-location, not integration of corporate and clinical governance, which is what St Vincent's have freely talked about in all of their publications, their annual reports and so on. So it's not actually, the current structure is not proper co-location. If it's to be independent, it should not be owned by another entity. It should be owned under the current governance structure and ownership structure, which works in women's interests. There are too many questions around this.